I swear to God, if I have to hear one more time about what a bummer that wine tasting is, I'm turning this shit off.
There's a reason we call summer in London the sea.
You know you'll never be me. You might be pretty, but this is my city.
Really? Like, okay, we shared some like personal stories.
Right.
Like,
But and then the
all right, possibly not like the best, like
but the
timing,
the
but
3,
God.
5, 7 degrees of rehashing it. And
Yeah.
she's talking to A and A's talking to B and B's talking to C. Like, I got it. Enough. But also, hello, everyone. This is But I'll Take a Pinot Grigio. This is Ladies of London, Season 4, Episode 4, Naked Truths, which we only got a few minutes of naked truths. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm here with Emily. I'm Sundi, the pop culture professor and self-proclaimed expert on all things pop culture. Emphasis on the self-proclaimed.
And I'm Emily, supposedly, I guess, a former
Not supposedly.
socialite adjacent person,
There
I'll
you go.
say, and psychologist and friend of Sundi for many years.
Right. And knowledgeable about all things bougie and high class. So we left the ladies. We watched 3 episodes last time. We really packed it in. So go back. If you have not listened to that episode yet, go back and listen to the first 3 that we did. Also, check in our Top Chef coverage. Those drop on Mondays. Our vintage Vanderpump Rules, those drop on Wednesdays and Fridays. Maybe I'm still working out the schedule now that Ladies of London is here. But here we are. Episode 4, and I thought that maybe we were going to like pick up with like the new fresh storyline. We did not. But to recap, Lottie's pregnant and she does not seem pregnant, doesn't look pregnant, doesn't present pregnant. She is very pregnant. Martha isn't safe in her own home because she gave keys and money to strangers. They went to a winery in which everyone unloaded their deepest, darkest trauma, and Kimmy's mad about it.
Kimmy was not here for that.
Yeah. And everybody is talking about everybody, which, stands to reason in a show of this ilk. Now, Mark starts out as kind of like the Greek chorus. If the Greek chorus was bitchy and foppish and British, he's always kind of like telling us kind of what we need to know. And so here he talks about emotions, right? Emotions are for Americans.
Mm-hmm.
They just overshare, and Kimmy can't deal with the verbal diarrhea.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where
which is interesting since Kimmy is actually not a Brit.
Yeah, exactly. I was about
And
to say,
she takes a very British standpoint on this.
Someone says
Of like,
later.
keep your sob story to yourself.
Right. She does like most Brits does. She drinks her emotions, which
Yes.
I can get on board with that. That feels completely okay and right.
It feels on brand for you.
Yeah. But that's what I was going to say too. They're conflating Kimmy's American or her Britishness and her Americanness. Like they're treating her very much like a Brit. They keep talking about how she has this very British idea of,
Mm-hmm.
boxing
Keep
out
calm
emotions.
and carry on.
Yes.
Just like
Which Emma says that
stiff upper
many
lip
times.
kind of thing.
And they're mixing up a lot of things because we get a lot of emotions from Emma in this one, very well. So, like, well deserved. And then, man, apparently the Swedish are just the most emotional people ever because if Missy is any representation, like, Jesus Lord Christ, I can't. But
Did not see that one coming, actually.
I mean,
I didn't know that, like, she was going to be the, like, I have to be in the middle of everything. But she is very much,
Yeah.
I'm going to put myself in the middle of all of this.
And doesn't she seem too pretty to have to work so hard to be the attention? Doesn't she get enough attention with her nips out and her ribs showing and this beautiful presentation? Do we really need you to stir up every situation that you're in? Like, you're doing too much. You're working too hard. You don't got to work so hard, Missy.
Maybe she's feeling insecure about her looks with her age.
I mean,
Maybe that's it.
if this woman
Do you know
is
what I
feeling
mean? Like,
yes,
she might be someone who's very much trapped in, like, her, like, mid-20s, like,
yeah,
sense of self. And,
That's
like,
a
now that
good
she's
point.
aging, maybe she's feeling like, even though she's, like, without a doubt,
Yeah.
unquestionably drop dead gorgeous.
I was
Like,
gonna say,
just absolutely stunning. But she may be looking in the mirror and seeing just the changes
yeah,
in what she perceives herself versus how she actually looks now. And like, I don't know. Maybe like she feels like she has to do something to make herself relevant.
Because if this woman is feeling insecure about her looks, what the hell chance do the rest of us stand? Like,
Right?
But it just goes to show you when it comes from the inside, right? Like, it's not.
It also, yeah.
It's not it's not an intrinsic situation. It is, but she really
It makes me
is.
feel a little sad
It does
that
kinda
she
make me feel
feels
sad
this
for her.
need to like.
Yeah, because
I have to create drama that I'm in the middle of to be relevant. You know,
whether she is in the scene. If she's not in the scene, they're talking about her previous scenes, or they're worried about how she's going to act in the next scene. Like, she is very much trying to position herself as the center. And, Kimmy is really taking that cake. I'm going to get to that in a second. Before I get to that, I want to talk about Lottie and Josh. He's not real. He looks like a Mardi Gras mask of a man. He walks around every day looking like this.
I mean, good for
Emilie.
him for the self-expression, I guess. But like, I mean, it's not what I would be attracted to in like a partner. Like, I mean, and now like let's take that with a grain of salt because like obviously, I mean, like my partner has a similar build to him, like tall and lean or whatever. But like, I think if I was with someone who, yeah, it does. It feels very almost costumish.
Yes,
Like,
that is exactly.
his
I
look-
was going to say bespoke, but costumish is the exact right way. Like, he gets up every morning and goes to his costume closet and decides what I'm going to wear today.
Well, it's a very like waxed mustache kind of let me,
And
which I
those-
do know guys who have done that.
Those
like, that was a
glasses
thing,
and that ponytail and those suits, like, it's just so much. But, I can understand why she may overlook all that because he bought her a $40,000 push present. So, okay, you know what? Fine, wear your wax mustache.
I mean, as he should. All right, like, come on, you've birthed a couple of children too. Do you not feel like that's the least?
We weren't given
we're
push
owed?
presents, okay?
Oh, I was.
Well, I know, but we were in different tax brackets back then. So,
Not a $40,000 one,
Right.
Oh, mine definitely had diamonds, both of them.
oh yeah, mine
yeah.
was a high five and be like, "Hey, are you gonna wash those dishes?" Like, that was my push present.
But don't
Like,
you feel? I mean, I feel
well,
like
for sure, I earned one.
for
but
bringing life into this world, we definitely earned at least.
Yeah. Now you're just shaming me. Got it. I did the work for nothing.
I wasn't trying to shame.
I mean,
That's
of
just-
course-
I was just saying I think that's the least that we deserve.
I mean, aside from,
For creating
beautiful
life.
children, obviously that wasn't for nothing. The birth wasn't
Right.
Obviously, I created my beautiful children, but also too, I get it. You're thin, Lottie. Your pregnancy's not showing. You do not have to announce to everyone you meet that, oh, you can't even tell that I'm pregnant. Got it.
yeah.
You are rail thin. We are
Yeah.
on board.
We know. We know.
Okay.
Some of us immediately gained 45 pounds
Yeah.
like 2 weeks into pregnancy.
Yeah.
We get it that you're not that person. You're going to be like 38 and a half weeks
Mhm.
pregnant and be like, you guys, I've got a little bump.
Yeah, no, my pants
We
got
get it.
tight talking about being pregnant.
Yeah.
So she's a very specific build. Oh, but she really likes a skinny watch on a man. Emilie, how do you feel about a skinny watch on a man?
I do not love that. I do not love that look. I don't love a skinny watch on a woman, to tell you the truth.
Me either.
Like,
I like a man's
I
watch.
like a bigger, but I'm a more, you and I both, I think, we like a statement
I
piece
do.
of jewelry kind
Yeah.
of thing. And I like a watch to be like a chunk. I want it to
Me
like
too.
hang out and be a thing, whether it's on a man or a woman. But
I do. I wear a man's watch. I like the heft.
a woman's watch on a dude does not turn me on. But hey, to each their own.
Well, I think maybe
if that
she
does
was,
it for her,
she was
then,
plotting a little bit too. I think
so too.
It
She
was much
definitely
more
wanted.
about her getting to wear it. So she's telling him about the winery because apparently it was the day before. And she was like, yeah, we were all sitting around sharing. And, Missy shared about her brother's murder. And he's like, whoa. That's the right
That's the right reaction.
reaction. That is the right one. Like, oh, so you're just sitting around like sipping some Blanc de Blanc and we're just talking about getting gunned down in the street. Got it.
He's like, wait, these are your new friends, right?
Yeah.
This is like your new crowd that you're hanging out with?
Yeah. And of course, to reiterate, she has to complain about Kimmy. And this is the first, maybe not even the first, about how Kimmy's acting very British about her feelings. And she's just really boxing him out and uncomfortable with the way it is. And that's confusing because we already talked about how her accent wobbles in between
Mm-hmm.
very posh British and something else. So I guess she's just been there so long that she has become, a British adopted. And then we go to Micah and Margot. They're having a massage. What do you make of Micah bringing a present to everything? Like, she turned up to have a massage and brought Margot's baby a present.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I forgot to write down any notes about it, but I thought about it.
So is that okay? That's coming off as just too much, right? It's too hard. She's trying too hard.
Listen, gifts are my top love language. Okay, we've done our little love languages test or whatever, and I do love a gift. Okay, I love and it doesn't even have to be expensive. Like a little something that lets me know that you thought about me. But as a person whose number one love language is presents, I feel like this is a bit much. Like, I feel like it's a little like I'm trying too hard to ingratiate myself to everyone.
Like me, please. Like me, please. Like me, please. And too, like, I
don't know. I mean,
they're having a massage. It's not a party. It's not some kind of thing. It's like, it's just like you can show up with just yourself, and your presence can be the present, Micah. You don't have to earn it so much. And
I don't feel like she feels like she deserves.
I don't think she does either. Probably because her husband's cheating on her, allegedly. Allegedly. We do learn. We asked this in the
you just made that up, and now we're just rolling with that as a
100% I did. I completely pulled it out of thin air, and it has no basis. And I'm just saying, private equity, he's gone every 3 weeks. I made the leap.
Now, again, though, devil's advocate. I mean, particularly when my kids were small, like bringing a little like, hey, I saw this and I knew your kid was into trains right now or whatever. And, I mean, I do love that kind of thing. That is
You are a good gift giver, too. You will say you are a very thoughtful gift giver.
Well, thank you. But, I try to, that's the thing. I try to be thoughtful. Like, if I see something that's really applicable, that really is like, oh my God, this is Sundi, I should take this to her, but it's not, I'm not going to bring you grape scissors because like that's super random.
You should know better than to buy me grape scissors, because
I'm never going to get over grape scissors.
I mean, who's using grape scissors and for what? Like, but they also look like hemostats that you use to pass the joint.
Did she have some time around the kid and know that he was big into these like red London buses, and that's why she saw it? Was that the thing?
I think it was a coincidence. I think it was a coincidence that she picked the right one. But remember, we were on the last episode, we were talking about we were wondering what Margot's husband did. And
we had a little info on that, but it still seems shady.
Right? Speaking of making a leap, he is Lebanese and Armenian. And he's a, quote, entrepreneur. So, okay, like an entrepreneur like Tony Soprano was? I don't know. And she tells this story. And look, I am not a real sentimental person. And so when people say shit like, when we hugged and the whole universe passed between us, I want to barf. There is no need for you to talk that way, ma'am. You are a grown adult. This is not a Nicholas Sparks novel. I won't have it. It's too much. I can't.
All right, wait. But
rejection.
When you and your wife met, there wasn't a spark. There was.
Of course.
I remember this whole story.
Of course there was. Like, am I going around moony-eyed talking about the whole world, the whole universe passed between us? No. I saved that for pillow talk like a grown-up. Okay? But really what got me, though, he didn't want to marry her. She had to force them.
Well, she got pregnant.
Yeah,
is what I inferred from this.
I didn't even infer that. Oh, maybe, I guess maybe yes.
I mean, she said, she was like, I mean, we're going to have a baby, so I had to drag him to the chapel.
Yeah. Romance. Romance is not dead.
Hey,
I mean, I'm just saying, there's nothing more romantic than saying, hey, man, this shotgun wedding is happening.
Hey, you knocked me up. Let's head on over there and like create this love story,
Margot also shares a little physiological news with us that the place in the brain that clocks foot pressure is close to the place in the brain that clocks sex messages.
She was trying to like explain why some people have foot fetishes.
Yeah.
And she was saying that like your brain is just miswired a little bit because I need to look this up. We watched and then rolled into this too quickly. I didn't have time to do any research.
That's right. That's your homework.
But I'm going to say, in fact, I'm going to go on record as a psychologist that I'm pretty sure that's not what foot fetishes are about. That's not what any fetish is about. But okay, you know what?
I will say this.
Go roll with it.
This is a lot of information, and it's just me, you, and the chickens right here. But sometimes when I am getting a wax and they put the wax on my bits, I can feel it in the bottom of my foot.
There is a physical connection. But that's like a reflexology type of thing. Okay.
So maybe she's conflating that
So,
science.
you have like different pressure points.
Right.
Okay. So like there's different points in your body, like in your hands and in your feet, which correspond to like if you're having like a migraine or a panic attack or something, there are different pressure points you can push on like hands, feet, other places that help relieve that in your brain. So your brain is connected to all these different spots.
So is there any way that she is kind of mixing up the
She's
science?
completely mixing up the science. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, good old Margot.
Yeah,
nothing like an actress to give us a biology lesson.
A for effort, but hard F for like actual facts.
And then of course they talk again about Missy's trauma. It's a real life nightmare. Listen, the pacing of this show is really getting me. Like, I really am enjoying their lifestyles and their kind of different personalities, but I need them to like chop it up and move on. We cannot dine out on this trauma dump lunch at the winery for the rest of the season. Like, get it over, digest it, metabolize it, get on with it. Because we spend quite literally the rest of the episode, the rest of the encounters are about this particular exchange about Missy's dead drug dealer brother, allegedly.
Yeah.
And then, because we go straight from them to Missy on the floor in her yoga mat, talking to her sister, who is also married to a soccer player who lives in Dubai. And I just wrote, more freaking talk about the winery, rehash. And then some talk about Alexis's grave, apparently, or Alex's grave. So, okay.
Which Missy's never been to.
Yeah, because, this...
The sister calls her out on that. Like, do you go visit his grave? And she's like, no, I've never been.
Right. But she has blown up this exchange about her confession to a point where it's like the only thing that's ever happened to her. It's the defining moment of her life.
Yes.
And yet here we are, which I don't want to judge that. Everybody, does this. Everybody has their own way of grieving.
Also, what a horrifying thing to have happen. I mean, you have several siblings. I have several siblings. Cannot even imagine if one of my sisters was gunned down, like, literally shot on the street. Horrifying.
Yeah.
Traumatic. Terrible.
However, Kimmy said that.
This brand new group of girlfriends that you're like, being paid to be part of, basically.
Yeah. Coworkers.
Let's be honest.
Coworkers.
Okay? Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know that. Kimmy, okay, I'm on the fence about her still a little bit. Like, she seems lots of fun,
dare you.
but also, I know, but also, like, I'm kind of like, okay, you could have a little more empathy about people with some things, but she's not completely wrong in that, like, oh my God, everyone calm down. We don't have to trauma dump everything and make it all, we can have some fun times too, like.
Well, so Margot goes to Missy's house and immediately tattles about Kimmy in the car. And, Kimmy, she just really hated that part.
Don't you feel like that was the whole purpose of Margot's visit?
Yes.
To Missy's house?
This is the thing, too. I
called this. I can't wait to get over there so I can, like, tell her everything that happened in the car.
Exactly. And
because I'm sober and I'm clocking everything and recording it.
I won't have it. Listen, I won't have this.
She is, though.
I know, but she is weaponizing that sobriety. And that comes up later in a conversation that her and Margot have about, and she kind of like attacks Margot for being drunk and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going to get back to it. But like the thing is, though, this trope about Margot kind of like this righteous idea, well, Missy really needs to know what Kimmy said. She needs to know. If she's not in a safe place with these women, she needs to know. That is a trope that says, oh, well, if I wasn't a good friend, I have to tell. It is just an excuse to narc, and it's an excuse to perpetuate a particular storyline. And I maintain this. I said this last episode. These women are interesting enough, or I may have said it earlier this episode, whatever. These women are interesting enough that you don't have to manufacture this shit. Like, stop trying so hard. That's going to be the downfall of a first season housewife. The one who just works so hard to be in the middle of everything and like just constantly has to be in the eye of the storm. That's a real downfall for a new show and a new housewife, which these women are essentially housewives of London.
I agree, because here's the thing. I want to watch this show because I want to see like what you guys get into. I want to see like, well, okay, what's, what is Lady Emma blobbity blobbity like? What's she getting into? What parties is she getting invited to, and what sort of like events does she help co-sponsor and host and go to and whatever. I don't particularly like need to watch like Mean Girls 45-year-old version,
Exactly.
Like,
and they're interesting enough.
Yeah, like just show us what your like lives are like. Like, we don't have to have this like.
And case in point, Kimmy at her house.
Drama,
Yeah. Case in point, Kimmy sitting at home in her house dress.
It was so cute. I have to say,
I love it. I love it so much.
Of all of the style on the show is very good, and I do have to say I really do love Kimmy's style. Like, I love her. I want all of her dresses that she wears. I have wanted everything so far. I did not love that headband situation, but it worked on trend. It worked on her. I just am not. To me, that looks like what I push my hair back with when I'm washing my face at night. It doesn't look like I'm an out and about.
Yeah, I can see your style in Kimmy's. Like, you guys have a very similar style situation. Mine is Martha. Martha's a lot of like Betty Davis, kind of like 40s pants and tennis shoes. And I really like, she has that short haircut. I really like Martha, which we didn't get a whole lot of Martha this time. But what we did get was gold when they went to, it was real good. But Kimmy also collects taxidermy.
I don't hate that.
I don't either. And, I have a lot of animals at my house. And do I wish that some of them were under the glass? Absolutely, I do. You have animals here as well.
We do.
We were quite complaining.
And we have a little bit of taxidermy around here, too. Like when my children shoot things, they like to...
Because the South, everybody.
Because it's the South. Because it's the South. And also, like, I love a good taxidermy moment. Like, yeah.
I do too. I find it to be really interesting. And she said it that it's like a painting under the glass. And that was really remarkable about how like these birds are these really delicate creatures that have been taxidermied and preserved under the dome of glass. It's like a painting underneath that. And that's smart. And also too, speaking of weird things that rich people do that's fine, that is super creepy and weird if poor people did it, that's a thing. Taxidermy is one thing. Like, if I were to have just a stuffed mouse sitting on my shelf at home, people are like, lady, what's going on? But this woman, no, it's fine. She's just eccentric.
Well, if you came up with a really good story for it, like it was the 4th Earl of some blobbity blobbity that was like, killed that. It was like the 3 blind mice, and that's why you have it, like.
Sure. Nobody would talk about me behind my back if I had a dead mouse on my shelf. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, we definitely would.
Of course you would.
But if it had a good story behind it, we'd be like, but that's why she did it, I guess.
And so again, our gay chorus, Mark, which, let me preface this, we don't know if he is gay.
I think he's just British, apparently, based on the fact that he wouldn't paint a penis at the art thing.
And
he painted hydrangeas where the penis should be.
But based on...
And let me just say, as a straight woman who has taken many art classes, and I know that it should not be different, but it is viewed differently. I think women, our sexuality is... We're more like allowed, air quotes, allowed to see the beauty in women versus,
have you
heterosexual men, I think, feel a certain way
this
about
man is not heterosexual. He's fluid At the very least, ma'am.
I'm just saying, wouldn't you agree that heterosexual men, I think, have basically been, groomed, raised to think like you're not really supposed to see the beauty in another man.
Maybe he's just repressed.
But like to not even be able to like just to say, oh, this is just a model and this is the art class that we're doing and we're sketching, so whatever.
Have you ever taken a nude male model?
Years and years ago.
See, I've taken a female nude model. Like,
yeah.
I think we even took it together.
Yes, we took one class together.
But I've never done a male one. And so I just wonder if that changes the energy in the room, if the penis changes the energy in the room, because the women were also a little abashed by it.
Well, I have to wonder if maybe that dude was just so hung that they were shocked.
Well, the way
that was my interpretation, was that they were all like, we've never seen something like that.
It was like fully hard,
just like hanging around.
Maybe that's why they were so shocked. Because
I didn't get that. But
I mean, I don't know. But maybe everybody was averting their eyes and like really trying to not look directly in its face.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just,
as one does.
They were just really, really all very shy about it.
Well, but that was that them being British, or was that them being?
I think that's going to be the question of this season. Are they prudish or are they British? Or is he gay? Is he British? Because this man's house.
These are good questions. Yeah.
Emilie.
I mean, it's got a Liberace feeling to it.
If Liberace was in like a 16th century museum, he made a joke that he didn't even have a kitchen. He's like, "What's a kid?" Like, this place is so. I even said before I understood where he was, I was like, "Where are they?"
Yeah, it had a real museum quality to it,
but like French Revolution, Louis the 14th, Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake situation. Like it was. I know.
I feel like that tracks.
I'm mixing a lot of
that tracks for him. Yeah.
But man, this man, he's got to be like the most wealthy of them all,
well,
right?
He is an aesthete.
Oh yeah, I looked it up. It's a real word.
Is that a real word?
I looked it up.
I feel like he made that up.
Well, I looked it up and it says refined taste and high sensitivity to beauty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
I feel that.
I know it felt fake, but it's not. It's not fake. Okay. Oh, and then they had this very poignant moment about Emma, and we were talking. It's funny that we were talking about how guarded all of these British folks are, and like keep calm and carry on. But like she was delivering this story, scary medical situation story. What was the thing? It was
she has a cyst. She's a pituitary cyst.
Is that thyroid stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Your pituitary gland is related to thyroid.
And she had a very troubled pregnancy, and the baby was born early, and so now it's kind of like come back.
Yeah, and like one of their headline things on there said leads to surrogate pregnancy, which leads me to believe that maybe her second child had to be born via a surrogate because it may have been too dangerous for her to have.
And whatever troubles are back now. And you can tell that these folks are friends between Mark and Emma. They
seem to have a genuine friendship.
Yeah, it's like the way he kissed her forehead and the way that he kind of like leaned into her. It felt very, very like wholesome and, sweet about it. So I can tell they're definitely friends. Mm-hmm. And that is the show I want to see.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Jeff teases me all the time about how, Top Chef doesn't have anybody like cat scratching and, slinging hot grease in each other's face because I need a drama. But like, I like to see the genuineness of it. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to play pretend for me. I think that's kind of what Missy and Margot were doing. And they're missing the boat on that one.
I think that's a really good description of it. Yeah.
So Margot and Missy again, she comes in and like all these folks have invisible children, right? Like they all claim to have children, but I hadn't seen hide nor hair of an instance. I guess we saw Margot in the park with her child feeding of olives, but she sent the nanny away in the beginning of the scene. So it seemed like she was taking care of her kids, but she's very, I don't know, I guess earlier, I think the scene with, I was conflating earlier. the scene earlier when Missy was talking to her sister, Margot wasn't there. This is the scene where Margot was there. I conflated it too. But this is the one where Margot's like feeling like, oh, I just didn't know what to say. I had a pit in my stomach all day because I needed to tell you. And you made a very astute observation that Margot is solidly pro overcoat, but anti-bra.
Man, she is not a fan of a bra. And I feel that. I hear you. But I don't go out in silk dresses, sans bra, or white blouses that are sheer at 90% of them. Like, I mean, she literally had to adjust and pick her boobs up because they were falling down. There was like a little opaque square that's supposed to rest over her boobs.
Well,
and they had fallen down into the like sheer part. And she's like trying to adjust as she took off her voluminous overcoat.
Yeah. So when she rode her bike over, I guess her boobs got out of whack.
Yeah. I don't know.
And she tells a very wonky story about Kimmy's. She recounts it in a very wonky way. Kimmy did not say it in the way that she's recounting it. She's just like, she wasn't as cavalier as Missy made it out to be. She wasn't as like callous about it. Like she was being flippant about it. And I think that she was being dismissive for sure. But she did say it was tragic. And so of course Missy has to say something about it because, you know, what would this show be if Missy and Margot weren't causing trouble? What? You're pointing at me.
I was going to say, you mean Margot. But yeah, Margot and Missy both were saying stuff about it.
Yeah. So like, because Missy was like, well, do you think I should say something? Of course I'm going to say something about her.
So Margot had to say something to
Missy.
Again, bravo. Get some different damn names next season.
Hard.
I cannot handle all of the M names.
We're going to have to assign them
very
nicknames.
Confusing.
Missy does need a lot of validation, though, because she decides that she needs to say something.
She does.
To
And
Kimmy.
then she's going to run it by everyone to see what they think she should do about saying something to someone. And most of them are going to say, I don't think you should say anything. And she's like, well, I know, but I think I'm going to say something.
Yeah. And, you know, she absolutely is too afraid she won't get enough camera time. So, of course, she has to do it. So.
And she always wants a side chat. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
We're 4 episodes in, and Missy and the side chats are very, like.
Missy's going to pull you for a chat, for sure. And then we already talked about the art event. And this is kind of where it kind of goes down. But it really made me laugh, though, whenever the model turns up and Kimmy's like, let me get a little preview. Let me do a little turn there for me, dear. And this man does it. Opens up his robe, does a spin for her, like no self-consciousness. And she's like, okay, well done. Thank you very much.
Well, you know, I mean, some people are voyeurs and some people are exhibitionists. So, I mean, it could be that he's got like an exhibitionist kind of kink.
Yeah.
He was very much like, sure thing.
They met the right one,
I mean,
too, right?
Because like I said, I have sketched many male or many naked models before. And generally they're very professional about it. Like, okay, you know, here I am. I'm gonna drape this, you know, here, and I'm gonna stand here and whatever or what. And he's like, yeah, you want a little peek? Here you go. Like, I feel like that was a very exhibitionist.
Yeah.
Kind
well,
of, like,
you know, he's in the right business.
Yeah.
Too.
Hey, good for him.
So we also get a little like moment with Martha. Did Martha say she got her keys back?
No. I think she was talking about how she didn't. And
so she should just change the locks, right?
Yeah. Why would you not?
I don't.
The minute that you tell your friends you did some dipshit thing, like just handing your keys over to some guy you met in the park, why wouldn't you go, hey, yeah,
maybe
I should change those locks.
Maybe it's harder in old buildings in England to change locks. I don't know.
It's not that hard.
Seems like that would be the very first stop. Like, okay, some rando has my keys. I should probably.
I mean, I'm fairly certain they have locksmiths in London too.
Well,
just
yeah,
like
but
we have
there's
here.
building codes. I don't know. So she is laying her head down every night.
I mean, you call and you say, "Hey, I messed up. I need to change the locks on this apartment." Like,
she's laying her head down every night in a flat that somebody else has the keys to.
Well, you know, her bird will protect her.
Well, Hecate, maybe. He is a magpie.
She was funny, though. This was an interesting quote from Kimmy that I wrote down. People are either fountains or drains.
Yes. Yeah.
It's an interesting way to look at it. Like, it's a,
Do you disagree?
Well, I don't know that. I don't think I agree with anything that says people are this or this, because I feel like we all exist on spectrums,
Yeah.
and we all have this in us and we have this in us. But it was an interesting description, like, that people can either, fountain, they can either fill you up or drain. And I can see that. I mean, there are definitely friends that, like, that are people that fill me up, and they're people that, yes, I want to be around. And then there are people that I've had to kind of, push to the side in my life because they are drains.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Like, there are people that nourish you, and then there are people who are taken from you.
Yeah.
And I think that was, I mean, it is a very binary way of thinking about human beings, too. But, I mean, in my experience, it's not terribly wrong. But then there's this, like, whole bit about Mark turning up in jeans. And Emma is just so surprised.
It was like such a thing. And he was like, this is the one time I could ever wear jeans.
She was like,
what is your life? What is your life that this is literally the one time you think this you could ever, like, show up?
We saw his house. You think this man's walking around that house in jeans? Emma was like, man, I thought he was going to see Cowboy Carter. I was like, yeah, girl. Like, very strange. And when he says he was wearing it because he was going to paint, did he think they were, like, painting a house? Like, did he did he think he was going to, like, lay the smocks down on the floor and use the rollers? Like, he's like, well, we're going to paint. This is the thing.
I mean, this may have been his first experience painting. I don't know.
I mean, that seems unlikely, but did he have to go out and buy jeans, a pair of jeans, just for this particular story?
They looked starched and stiff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel like they were brand new.
Well, the maid probably. The Downton Abbey situation that he
probably
has
getting
going
them
there.
ironed.
Yeah. And then there's talk about a banana. And we don't really need to get into it so much, except
oh, Margot. I mean, or what? What's her name? Micah.
Micah.
Yes. Again, I told you.
It's a lot of M's. What did you see that is making you feel some kind of way, Emily? What clip did they show?
I mean, this nonsense clip that they cut to her showing the, air quotes, correct way to eat a banana. And she has a fucking fork and a knife, and she's cutting a slice of a banana. Oh my God. Wild. Oh my God. Everybody calm down.
I know.
Everyone calm down. Guess what? A banana is in the same general shape as a penis. Everybody calm down.
Exactly.
Okay?
And look, just eat your banana normal. I'm not saying make eye contact with the person sitting across from you, but you don't have to get a fork and knife out. That is beyond. That's beyond.
It's like,
it's too much. But like, that was.
They're making things a little too ridiculous.
We burst out laughing
when it comes to that. Yeah. Like, come on.
So, yes, Emma is running a 10K for the Tusk charity. Emily cannot relate to that. She said, why the fuck would anybody run a 10K?
No, I've done it. I did it.
I know.
I did it in a past life. And now all I have to say to you and all of, the 5 listeners or whatever that we have is, if you see Emily running someplace, you better get off your ass and run the same direction.
That's
because
right.
Something is coming for us. Because that's the only reason to be running, to tell you the truth. Okay?
Or you could just tell people you're Haitian, like Kimmy does, because nobody expects a Haitian to work for any charities. Which is so
How about she was
funny.
Like, well, I mean, I'm from Haiti, so they don't expect us to do so. And I'm
exactly.
like, Didn't your entire island get like almost wiped out from hurricanes? Like
that's why they're not.
I donated to charities for Haiti. What are you talking about? You're not doing any charities because you're Haitian. You should be.
Oh, exactly. Well, they're not expecting anybody who's like, hey, like Haiti. They've gone through enough. Haitians have been through enough. They don't have to do any more charity. She's like, but then this whole freaking thing.
How about the enablers comment? Did you catch
No,
that
I missed
one?
it. What? Who enabled?
So, okay, which one? Martha, Emma, and Mark were all like labeled by Bravo. They were like enabler 1, enabler 2, enabler 3 for Kimmy for her whole like
Interesting
dynamic of how she like acts about everything. And they were like, oh, here are her enablers.
Well, because I did assign them teams. I didn't call them enablers. It's like the fun crowd and then like the goody try hard crowd. That is kind of separated into that. So it's like Kimmy and Martha and Mark and Emma, like they're the cool kids. Like they're the ones who are like drinking under the bleachers and skipping school and smoking in the boys' room. And then you have maybe Micah and Missy and Margot, like they're the ones who are like, oh, how dare you say things about things? It's so hurtful and it's so terrible. Like you should be nice. So like the cool kids have decided that I don't really need to take everything so seriously. Your feelings are whatever. Then these folks are just like they're falling apart in their fragileness, their fragility. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really stupid because this whole thing that happened between Kimmy and started out with Missy, and then Margot joined because the South Carolina came out.
They called her South Carolina.
Yeah, she is from South Carolina, I believe.
I know, but they were like, "Oh, well, South Carolina's going to weigh in." Like,
well, I'm just saying, you don't want the South Carolina to come out.
Wow.
But Kimmy at this point is drunk. You can already tell, like she's kind of slurring. She has all this, and then that's when Margot weaponizes her sobriety and was like, well, why don't you go have another drink then? I'm sober. I see what's going on, which is a real cheap shot.
When you're clear-eyed and sober, you can tell what's going on. Like that, she said that when you're clear-eyed and sober. All right, calm down.
I mean, exactly. Like, shut up. And, you know, I am never one to come for someone's sobriety, but like, that is just not, if you are in this particular situation and everybody is drinking and you are going to be superior and use your particular choice to be sober as a way to kind of like be self-righteous about it, like that's not a good look. That's not what we're doing. That's not how you become a fan favorite. Just saying. But Lottie went to art school, by the way. She was really upset that her penis drawing didn't win.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt myself there, but Kimmy also talks about Debbie Downers a lot. Like the whole reason that she had a freaking naked art party was because the Debbie Downers talked about death and suicide and gun violence for the last one. And so it's just a reaction.
Which was inappropriate at a wine tasting setting, according to her.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if inappropriate is the right way, but like, I mean, you're bumming me out, Dad. You know? Like,
yeah, I mean, I do get it. Like,
we do get...
There's situations where it's more like, let's just have a light, happy time. And then there are situations
didn't that seem
like
the light, happy time? Didn't that seem like a time that should have been a light, happy moment? Like, I don't think that was the
wine tasting?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Kimmy on this one. I know you and I are sort of diverging in our opinions here, but I'm kind of with Kimmy. Like, I mean, I don't think she should have went that hard about it, especially in the limo home.
Yeah, I don't disagree with the basic premise, okay? Yes, a wine tasting, like, I would not expect that to turn into, like, let me share all of my deepest, darkest secrets. But if that's where the crowd goes, then, like, all right, just let it go there. You don't have to share your trauma with the group, okay?
Yeah.
But if this is where, because I feel like we have pockets in this group of people that are friends, that are genuine friends, that have genuinely known each other for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But that is not the entire group, all 10 or whatever people there are, you know? So some of these people might be feeling like I'm genuinely trying to make a connection with these other new people, and how can I share a little bit about myself, you know? So I get it. That would be a little bit like, oh, wah, wah. I didn't know we were going all, you know, down and dark here, but like don't be a bitch about it if that's how people go.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess you're right. I guess you and I have had some very serious conversations in, you know, all around town in many different restaurants and, you know, various levels of intoxication.
Yeah.
But maybe Kimmy was reacting to the idea that, like, not everybody knew each other as well. And so, and I think Mark, when he went out to talk to Missy, I guess, when she left, and he was like, I think she's reacting more to her own situation. That's probably what was happening, right?
And that was an interesting perspective for him to bring up, because he knows Kimmy really well and has known her for a long time. Like, I feel like they have a genuine, outside of this big group, like, friendship. And so for him to be like, oh, I think she was, you know, feeling some kind of way based off of what you said. Okay, well, that's an interesting take. And that makes me have more, you know, empathy or sympathy or whatever towards her, versus just feeling like, damn, way to be a bitch when some other people were trying to open up, you know?
I felt like it was fairly,
I don't know.
I felt like it was fairly obvious that she was uncomfortable with the amount of vulnerability that was being shared. And so she was trying to, like...
But don't you don't you feel like she might always be uncomfortable with vulnerability?
Yeah.
Like, everything so far, I feel like has been her deflecting and making light of a lot of different things.
Because maybe she doesn't have a whole lot of practice in being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, so good luck to her children, I guess. But
yeah.
This is where you get get your finger out of my face, which is, you know, classic housewife.
And here we are. See, I mean, episode 4 already, and we've got it. So that's a little earlier than it usually is, don't you think? I feel like that's more of a later in the season kind of trope.
I know,
usually.
but like Margot and Missy are really accelerating
they are. That's
the situation of it. I think they're thinking like, oh, if I don't get it in, if I don't get my face in the camera, if I don't get my arguments on camera immediately, then it's going to like pass me by. And I just, that it's feeling, you know, a little forced. I've said that before, but it is. So, Emily, next week, Micah has puppets.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
I don't know how I feel about a puppet. No, that's not true.
I know how I feel. I know how I feel.
I am so embarrassed for this woman. Why? Like, you know what? She could teach a charm school or do like a cotillion class. Like, she could make plenty of money. Her husband.
Right, that's a thing.
Right.
You know?
But puppets? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get a gender reveal. People are still doing gender reveals, especially on this two androgynous motherfuckers.
I know. I thought we were way past that. I didn't know gender reveals were still like a.
Especially with these two people who are absolutely blurring the lines of gender, like so strange. We do get a Kimmy and Margot sit down, and then I guess tension between Kimmy and Martha, not my Martha. So, you know, remains to be seen.
Well, that tracks though.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the old friendships, and Bravo loves to like find a little bit of a like crack in the wall and be like, hey, let me pick at this a little bit.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. And I hope that that's as far as it goes, because these are my two favorites. Kimmy and Martha are my two favorites. But
I do like them.
In this episode, who did you identify with? Like, what moments or traits did you most sort of connect with in this particular episode?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know, because I really do like Kimmy, and I like a lot about her, but I have to say in this episode, I felt like she was being superficial and like kind of silly and immature in some stuff, you know? I felt like Mark like actually showed us a little bit more depth with like
I really like him.
I really like him too. Like with his whole conversation with Emma when he was like, very concerned for his friend and stuff. And like, she didn't really want to talk about it. And he was like, I'm here for you kind of thing. I really appreciated that. I really appreciated him going out to the car to talk to Missy and being like, hey, I don't think it's all about you. I think this is kind of a reflection on her. So I don't know whether like I necessarily identify with him necessarily, but I would say I liked him the best in this, and I would hope that I would have some of those same characteristics that he showed in this episode.
Yeah. I mean, he is sort of like, it seemed like he was going to be the flattest character, but it seems like maybe he's revealing
He's showing a little more depth, yes.
Yeah, then he's sort of like rounding out a little bit. Like always, I am just going to ride for Kimmy. I'm going to eat my words. There'll be no situation in which I will not have to take something back. But I just find it to be, I mean, I relate to it. Like, listen, we don't always have to just bare our soul all the time. Like some things, and like, you know, we could be funny and this, and like also, I think we should be reacting to the performativeness of these folks because they are performing in a way that is just so obvious. So Kimmy is my girl this week again.
Yeah. And I just want to like also mention really quickly that I love some British slang. And so I think it was Emma was getting in the car and he was like, you slag, you know? And I'm like, oh, I've never even heard that one, but I love it.
Last week.
I love some British words that they come up with.
Last week, Lottie said she was up the duff, which means
what does that
pregnant.
Oh.
I know. I didn't know. She's up the duff.
What's a duff?
I don't know. I didn't look it up. But they put it on the screen for us. It was like, yeah, we're pregnant. So, yeah. So I am on board with this show. I really, really like it. It's, you know, giving me housewives, but rich, like for real rich. And if you have not listened to the first 3 episodes, go back. That's out now. Emily and I talked about, we really ran through the first 3 episodes, but new episodes will be dropping every Thursday. So come back. Top Chef is on Mondays. And as always, Vintage VPR is Wednesdays and Fridays. Find us on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram. And as always, send me an email if you have suggestions or complaints. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.